My name is Max Pardo-Rokes, part of the delivery team for the Productive General Practice Quick Start programme. I'm talking to you now about efficient processes, a module which links with 2 of the 10 high impact actions, specifically number 5, productive workflows, and number 10, developing quality improvement expertise in general practice. Efficient processes is a module that starts to look at any actions in your practice that perhaps aren't running as smoothly as you'd like to, and specifically we can start to look at processes that aren't quite where they need to be. So efficient processes is a module where we're starting to look at any kind of high volume activity that goes on in your practice, and we're going to look at how can we pull that activity apart and look to improve it. Now, if you've already looked at the rest of the modules, you'll have seen what's involved and what areas they cover. If they don't cover the areas that you need, efficient processes would be perfect for you. We work with you and your team to process map a current process in your practice, and then we look at what are the areas for improvement and how can we change that process so that actually it works better for you and the practice on a daily basis. That can have some really big impacts for you guys as a practices, because actually we're making those small changes but that start to have big impacts on the rest of the practice and the way that you work. In efficient processes, we're looking at the way that things operate in your practice, and we're looking to help make them run more smoothly, more effectively, and hopefully to save you time. The idea being that will reduce pressure in your practice on a daily basis, and therefore hopefully it'll become a better place to work and somewhere that actually hopefully works slightly more effectively on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. The other area to consider on efficient processes is that we really need to be working with a team that's quite broad from across your practice. If we're looking at a process that goes right the way across your practice, we're going to need members of your team from each step of that process so that we have a full picture about the way that you work, and therefore we're able to develop the best solutions with you that kind of solve those problems that are causing you issues. So for efficient processes, there are 5 key areas to the way that we deliver this module. The first, as with all of the modules, is around preparation. And in this case, we're looking at deciding on where we're going to be focusing. And the chances are, if you've chosen to do efficient processes, you've probably already got quite a good idea about the area that you want to look at. So this part is all about making sure that you and the team are happy with that and the way that we're going to go about working with you. Next, we'll move into a bit of a simulation, and that's about mapping a simple process. And when I say simple, I mean we're going to be looking at a cup of tea and how we make a cup of tea. Doesn't get much simpler than that. Then we get into the do phase. And for the do phase, there's kind of 2 or 3 main sections, of which the first is we create a current state map. And this is mapping the current state of your process, exactly how it currently works. And at this point, we'd be encouraging you to take as many photos as videos, to walk that process as much as you can, so that we get a really detailed and rich picture of exactly how it works. At that point, we will be creating that process map, which involves lots of different members of your team, and hopefully should be quite a fun and energetic activity, which captures all the different elements that go into it. We then move into the future state, and in the future state we are looking at how would we like that process to work in the future, so that actually it's more effective and more efficient for us. The difference between those 2 states are going to be the actions that we need to take in order to make sure that we are achieving that increased efficiency and improved process working. Finally, we then start to put those agreed actions into place, and that might take place over several months, but where we are able to, we'll be working with you in the practice to action those items so that we actually can see that happening quickly and effectively.